right. Can you see my screen okay, Jen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So good afternoon. Welcome to month 1 and our first mentoring session with Team Evolution in this Evolve program. So we're gonna go through all of the details, and if you haven't referred to the Getting Started video yet, be sure you do check that out so that you know all of the different things that you're gonna need to do to get set up, to get rolling for February. But today we're gonna go into what's gonna happen, what are the activities in February, and then really dig into why this is for you. Okay, so getting started first off and getting centered in our hearts a little bit. So a little chat with your heart. I want you to get a notebook handy, or even feel free to open up the chat room and answer some of these questions if you want to, if you feel inclined to share it, because it will be of value to other people who may be able to watch this recording that aren't able to make the live session. Or just take a journal or a piece of paper and then write down, why is this your time? Why is this your time to start on this journey of sharing doTERRA? Maybe what excites you about sharing the oils? Who do you have a solution for? I know for me, when I was starting out, it was all about talking to other moms, because I was so excited and empowered as a mother to be able to ease the little things that come up with kids and not feeling so helpless that I needed to rush off and make sure they were okay every 5 minutes. And it's been a very good thing. And sharing that as a solution for other moms has been a very gratifying process. So maybe there's a different person for you though out there. Maybe there are a different pocket of people that you have a solution for. And then what in your life has prepared you for this right now? I'll give you some time to think, but this question definitely came to my mind many times as I began with doTERRA, because I do find it interesting. I have a background in teaching. I have also had experience in entrepreneurship, in real estate. And it's a very beautiful meshing of those things, and also just what I'm incredibly passionate about in serving other people. So a lot of those things definitely have prepared me for this journey with doTERRA, and I'm sure the same goes for you. There are so many different skills you've acquired along your journey that make it a perfect fit for you for some reason. Usually when doTERRA comes knocking, that door is opening for you for a reason. And then finally, but probably most importantly, what does a day in your life look like 5 years from now? So for me, I have to think about, okay, how old are my kids in 5 years? And really sit with that, think about what your day is gonna look like, what your life is gonna look like. Consider all areas of your life, your relationships, your finances perhaps, your physical, emotional, spiritual well-being, the activities you might be involved in and how that makes you feel. You know, really, what do you want it to look like? That's why we're here, right? To evolve in the direction where we want to go. I find that if we don't make some of those choices for ourselves, that days just click on, and we'll continue riding that unconscious wave of life that will continue having us go along the path that it's choosing for you, rather than you being in control and guiding your own ship. And there are a lot of things that become obstacles, of course. I haven't had a year go by where there isn't some kind of a struggle or challenge in one area of my life or the other. And of course, we can't control those things, but what can we control is the question. So just take another minute here, and if you're going to watch the recording, you can always press pause on these slides and take some time for reflection and journaling, or come back to it later on in the month. So we're going to go ahead and move on from there. So when you begin doTERRA as a vehicle for whatever it is that you feel drawn to share and serve in the world, there are a lot of different reasons why people decide that this is for them and what has prepared them, and all of those various stories. So your story has set you up to use this system of business. This company has provided a really amazing opportunity for you to share your message with a certain population that needs it. It's a service and also an amazing product. But really beyond that, this is kind of the flow of what your days are going to be like. You're spending time in this flow in order to share that message with people. So it's kind of a continuous cycle of sampling product and inviting for some kind of an experience. Perhaps this is you're inviting them to experience an Essential Oil 101 class, or perhaps it's taking it a step further and they're making things with you, or maybe you're having whatever it is that you're really into and passionate about. That's where some of the creativity can come in continuing to provide a service for people and educating them on some kind of, in some form or another. So sampling them and then inviting them to come continuously. So it's not just once, but it does continue to happen. Inviting them to engage in some other form of continuing education, following up with them, and then having that experience with them either one-on-one or in a group setting or an online setting. There's a lot of different ways where this happens. And then of course, initially there is an enrollment phase. So this is where they've committed, they've got some skin in the game, they're on board with your why and what you're doing and how you're doing it. And then you're nurturing them beyond that. It's welcoming them into this community that you have. And then of course, after that, you have a conversation with them to see if it's a fit for them, if they're open to it, and joining you in on this journey and this business. And then it continues to be a cycle. So we'll refer back to this a lot in months 2 and 3 as well. And I'm going to teach you the components of each one and how it can be very, very simple. I have overcomplicated this whole thing in the past 2.5 years, and anyone can do it. And it does not have to be fancy. It's actually very simple and just maintaining relationships. So the very first thing that you're going to need to do in this first week of February is to create a list of people. So in most business, it's called your sphere of influence. So the 100 people that come to mind as quickly as you can jot down on a piece of paper, the people that you're going to want to tell them, like, hey, I'm excited. I know why I'm doing this. I know what it's about, and I really want to tell you about it. So I know that when I first started, it seemed like, I don't even know if I have 100 people I want to talk to about this. Trust me, you do, and if not more. And when you really feel confident in what it is that you're sharing to people, it'll be exciting. These people are going to want to hear, they're going to want to support what you're doing. But you do have to come into a place where you own it and you're excited about it, and you do have a real reason for doing it. So a couple of different tools that I have found. There are apps and also a great names list available for you. I personally just use an Excel spreadsheet. I use it on Google Docs so I can access it lots of different places. I don't have to have it with me all the time. I'm not great with paper. I have tried this names list that's here with pen and paper. It's part of the Edge Success system, and it's a wonderful list. It's my spreadsheet is similar, where I have the names, and then I have boxes for checking off, have I contacted this person? Has this person been sampled? Has this person been to a presentation of some kind? Has this person enrolled? And has this person been talked to about hosting a class? So those types of activities are wrapped up within your relationship that's very organic with people. It doesn't have to, it's absolutely not salesy, because I wouldn't be doing it if it were. But making a list is really crucial. And I have had in the beginning experience with not making a list and just going through my phone, and just not having a system was really to my deficit in the beginning. And so I'm really, really strongly going to encourage you to gather this information from the get-go. There are also apps. If there are app lovers out there, there's an Edge app and also a Share Success app for managing your contacts and putting these things in. And what's wonderful is that it's paired with that flow that doTERRA's business structure is developed under, which is great. But definitely at least an Excel spreadsheet would be perfect. If you want a template, just let me know and I can share mine with you. So I know you're thinking 100 people, I don't know 100 people. You'd be surprised. Just sit down for some time. I'm going to show you your sample calendar for this month of when you might be able to spend some time doing this, a couple of days, maybe. It takes you to work on this list, and this list you're going to continue to nurture this list along your journey. I still use this memory refresh to go, oh yeah, I've never talked to that person. Oh yeah, I could talk to that person. And basically when you're creating this list, you're keeping in mind that these are people you're just going to seek openness. Just going to say hello, how are you, how's your day? And say hey, are you open to learning about natural things? And some people are like, oh yeah. A lot of people that I know, of course, they spend a lot of time in yoga classes and things, they're totally open to natural forms of wellness. And that's one of the tools that they use. And then a lot of times it's just very natural to say oh, well, what do you know about essential oils? And they'll either tell me or they won't. They're either open to it or they're not. And if they are, wonderful. And I can continue to go through that process of well, hey, would it be all right if I send you an invitation? I have a class every week at this time. So, it's a really nice process, especially if you're if you like people, you like chatting with people. Most of you do, otherwise you wouldn't really be here. It does come with kind of part of this job description, I think, for people. I'm just going to check the time because I know we're getting short on time. So come back to this list, help you make your list. Things to make note of. This month, we're going to have 2 webinars. So just 2 for a month in February. The first one's going to be on February 7th, and I'll release specific times if you want to join live for questions and things. Otherwise, the recording will be posted on Team Evolution. And I'm going to teach you about this idea of text blitzing to your contacts in order to start getting in front of people for presentations or to get samples out there. There's a lot of different ways that we can use texting as a form of contact, and doing it in this blitz fashion is really efficient. So we'll talk more about that in that webinar. And then there's also going to be a class in a box webinar to teach you more about teaching the class. So if you didn't remember that you should have a class in a box for this month to get familiar with the materials and to get prepared for teaching your first class. Also, in addition to this, I do encourage you, it's not completely mandatory, but I encourage you to get in contact with your upline who's at least a premier or above. So I know in Australia, we've got a great mentor that's at your fingertips for questions at your disposal. Check in with that person, maybe even if it's just a little messaging back and forth, an email or a phone call, and just have that person aware that this is something that you're embarking on and you want to make sure that they know so that they can support you. If questions come up, you're not sure how to enroll this person, you're not sure how to approach this situation, things are going to come up. So you're going to want to make sure you're in contact with that person. They know that you're committed to doing this and they can help you. And of course, I'm available too if that person is not. All right. So a sample calendar, we're going to come back to this a little bit after. For February, there are things that you're going to want to do. I want you to get your calendar and look at it. Decide how much time you're going to dedicate each week to doing this. and then take, 20-minute chunks here and there for various activities in the days. So just breaking up the amount of time you have realistically to commit to doTERRA, and then fitting in the most essential things and doing them. So in the first week, this finding your why activity that we're going to go through is, and starting your names list is the priority, and then making sure that you talk with your upline. Note to watch in the second week the text blitz webinar, to schedule some time for text blitzing in the third week, and watching the class in a box video. And then I also encourage you to start getting out there. Take a great friend to coffee and start bring your oils and just have a natural, organic conversation about them and get yourself comfortable. I'm going to come back to this because one thing I really want to focus on in this webinar is this idea that came from Simon Sinek, who originally did a TED Talk. So you can look this up if you want to watch the TED Talk. I encourage you to do so. He talks about this principle behind every successful person in business being a simple model for how leaders inspire action, circling with this golden circle and the question of why. And we start with why, and then the trust will come from there. So every organization knows what they do or sell, whatever it is that they offer. So for us, that's essential oils. Every organization knows how, so something that maybe makes them special, like perhaps our co-impact and sourcing. But very, very few know why they do it. This is the real reason behind what they do. This is the belief, the cause, the very reason that this organization exists. So for me, I didn't necessarily, it's refined over the years, but when I really think about it, I can see why my organization exists, because I've communicated my core beliefs with people and why I feel like this is such an effective tool to doing that. So we're going to go through a quick exercise to help you find this. And my beautiful friend Genevieve is here to help us model what this might be like for you. So Simon says that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so I know, Jen, you've got a little bit of time, just a couple minutes, yeah? If you can just help us get the ball rolling, and then you can refine it further for yourself. You're going to be our model, and I know this is going to be of such great service to other people in getting started doing this. So this week, take some time, maybe 10 minutes a day, to dig into this, because this is where you're going to find your story that gets people's attention, that gets them saying, you know what, I want to talk to this person. I want to listen to what they have to say. I want to learn what it is, and I want the tools to help me do it. So ask yourself this question: why is it important that you're successful in doTERRA?
I'm typing away here.
And then I think Jen's maybe gonna be brave and open up the chat and just let it all out, whatever first comes to your mind. There's no right or wrong, you guys. It's really just a journey for yourself to uncovering whatever it is that might be unveiled in this process for you. So Jen says, to use doTERRA as a tool to continue to empower myself, my family, to use essential oils as a part of our health and wellness plan, to share this same empowerment with others in my life. Beautiful. So the real nugget in there is to continue to empower myself, my family, to use essential oils as a part of health and wellness plan, and then empowering others. So why is that important to you? Why is it important that you continue to be empowered, as well as your family and others? So we're going to dig into that same question deeper, because what we're trying to do in this exercise is to find what you really believe.
Okay, you want me to type away here, right?
Yeah, if you can. I know you just got another minute, so if you could just do one more or so for us, that would be great, Jen. And you can continue working on it on your own.
Exciting watching me type here.
Yeah. Okay, so I find that the more I bring these products into my life, the more healthy and natural choices I make in other areas of my life as well. I also love knowing that I can help to care for my family in this way and want others to know this tool. It's beautiful. It is important. So why is it important? Do you have 1 more minute to do one more? Or do you need to go? One more?
They know me at the preschool. They'll probably keep my daughter.
Okay, that's quick. So the big nugget there, I think, is why. So why is it important to you that you continue to make more healthy, natural choices for yourself, for your family, for others? Okay, so it's important because I want to live a long and healthy life with my kids. I want them to have healthy choices to be a norm for them, as opposed to something that they have to learn later in their lives. Totally. So awesome, Jen. So, and Jen's going to continue to dig into this a little bit more. I think that going like 6 or 7 layers with this is really amazing, what it starts to open up and what you realize is at the heart root of why you continue to talk to people about these silly oils. I mean, really? Like, there's a real deep reason, a real deep draw why you continue to not give up in this. And it can be hard on days and seasons. It can be really hard. And so when you really know why, you won't give up, because there is a real purpose. And so what you're going to do when you've gotten to the end of that is you're going to read from top to bottom your story. You're going to read all those answers and turn it into this beautiful story, and maybe like editing it, you know, making it condensed. And so that when you read it, you get goosebumps, right? Like, this is your story. This is what you're doing for people. And so then you're going to weave that in with the oils, so that when you show up to a class and you say, hi, my name is Lauren, and I'm here today as I'm a wellness advocate for doTERRA. I'm a mother. I'm a holistic lifestyle teacher. And like, for me, mine has evolved so much so that I even so boldly say that what is at the core of what I believe is that, you know, we're all here for a reason. And I believe that when we feel well in all these areas of our life, then we can live in our true purpose. And so I'm here today to facilitate you with a product, with a tool that's going to help you do those things. And here's how. I mean, something like that grabs your attention. So Genevieve's going to say, from the top to the bottom, I'm just going to go really quickly how she could maybe do this. So my name is Jen, and I continue to empower myself and my family with essential oils as a part of our health and wellness plan. And I love to share this with others to empower them to do the same. And it's, maybe we could say, I think that the last one that you said is really important. You know, that I believe that we all deserve to grow up learning healthy choices as an automatic, right? And so that we can live long and healthy lives. And so I'm here today to give you access to these tools that will provide you this type of life. You know, I mean, boom, that's a great opener. And now these people are going to want to know, okay, yeah, what is an essential oil? Like, I'm listening. Yeah, why again? You know? So yeah, it's beautiful. So keep working on it. And, you know, keep journaling away and keep practicing it until it becomes really fluid and natural for you. I'm doing the same because I am in a refinement stage of my why, where now a lot of mine is like, I've always had this desire to really make a difference in the world and change the world. And I can do that because I'm starting to see the ripple effect of helping other women empower themselves to then empower other people and their families and the wellness of their children growing up in these natural choices. And so sharing this business opportunity has become a big part of my why.
Right.
That's great.
Cool.
So I'll continue working on it as well so that it can be more fluid for me as a leader, if you guys want to continue to do it too.
Awesome. I have to run.
Thanks, Jen.
Baby. Thank you.
Bye. Say hi to your babies for me.
I will.
Okay, thanks, hon.
I have to figure out how to not be on here. Okay.
There you go. Thank you, Jen.
Bye, love.
Bye. For the rest of you, take some time this month. I'm going to go back to the month. I'm going to close this down here. See if I can go back to the month here. So for you guys who are watching the replay, make sure that you do several different things in this first few days of February. Talk to your upline and maybe schedule out some times that are going to be best for you and for them for a weekly check-in. And this can be, like I said, through messaging, through a phone conversation. It can even be through email if you'd like, just to send them some questions. And that way you guys all know that you're communicating and going to get the right support. And they know what your schedule is like so that they can expect to be available when you do have questions. You're also going to continue on that journaling those why exercises to really get at the heart of what you believe and why sharing doTERRA is important for you. And you are going to also work on those names lists. So 100 people at least, or if you want to take the slight edge, do 115, 20, do as many as you can think of. Don't limit yourself to 100 because you're going to continue to add to this along your journey with doTERRA. Use the memory refresh sheet to make that list and start getting those samples together. So if you, in the introductory call, we talked about getting samples together for supplies. And of course, if you haven't made your commitment to doing this yet, you still have time. It's the last day of January. We don't officially start until tomorrow, February 1st. So if you'd like to commit to doing this in February, March, and April, and giving it your all, even if you look at your calendar and you say, I only have three hours a week, then just be really efficient with the use of those 3 hours. And scheduling, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there is totally doable. That's how I started as well, fitting it in the gaps until you're able to do it more part-time. And just make sure that you're doing the things that are necessary to do. Sampling is a big one, so we're going to make sure that we get some samples either from your back office through doTERRA. They have really cute little pre-made trios of samples. There's singles and then a package of blends, and they have information on them too, so it's really nice. Otherwise, I love to get the little quarter drams and do about 10 drops in them. You can top them off with some fractionated coconut oil if you like. You can also, for certain people, you might want to have some of the little dollar reference guides. There's a couple of different ones, like a Healthy Made Simple is a really nice one for someone who is really interested in kind of the overall lifestyle. And then there's an A to Z guide that is about $1, and it's really like symptomatically based specific oil use. And so for someone who is most likely going to show up to a class and is really interested in learning more, then I definitely recommend giving those with your samples. And then set a couple coffee dates or lunch dates with people who that you love, that you enjoy spending time with. They fill you up. And bring your oils along with you and let them smell them. Let them talk to them about what you're doing, and just seek some openness in a really organic way and practice your story a little bit. It's a really good thing to do. And then, who knows, maybe you'll leave them with a sample and maybe they'll want to come to one of your classes in March. That's what we're gearing up to do, is that in March, you're going to be ready to hit the ground running with really successful classes to help you start getting a boost in your business. And for some of you, you've been doing this for a little while, casually sharing, maybe hosting a class here and there, but you're not quite at a point where it's happening all the time. Like it's not consistently sticking your volume every month. And so sometimes they refer to those as like people who've reached elite, but it's like a Band-Aid elite. It's not sticking. So if that is you, if you've lacked consistency over the time that you've shared doTERRA, then maybe now is the time to really refresh your names list, to get back in the swing of things, to really take March by, set yourself up this month, maybe read the GoPro book or some of the other books, or watch some other videos that inspire you to recreate your why, and getting some new materials together and get out there sampling again. I never leave the house without samples, because it's like every time I turn around, somebody needs a little lavender to chill out, or a little peppermint for a little pep it up, or somebody's got a little boo-boo and needs a little Melaleuca. So have your samples on hand. You never know when the opportunity is going to arise. I was in a coffee shop the other day just doing some work, and people started talking about how sore they were from yoga, and I just started having a conversation with them. And then I'm like, wait, have you ever heard of Deep Blue? And they're like, oh yeah. And so I hand them a sample of Deep Blue. It's great to have these samples on you. So if you are going to commit, remember that I will give you $50 just for your commitment. So via PayPal, if you haven't finalized your commitment with me and letting me know kind of like, just what your general goals are, what your vision is for this. If you think you can dedicate a few hours a week, if you think you can dedicate part-time to this, a few hours a week, like say 3 to 5 hours a week, is going to probably take you maybe 4 to 6 months to get elite. So the more you can put into it, there is a bit of a season where it takes some time to establish this foundation where the flow is just going to happen more naturally. So, but if you do commit more like an hour a day to doing this, then you'll be able to definitely accomplish elite by April, even just doing your classes March and April. And potentially, if you keep up that pace, you'll be reaching silver in a year. So, and silvers make about $2,000 a month. It's very attainable. It can be very simple. We just have to follow a system and be diligent about it and know why you're doing it, because life will get in the way and you'll want to set it aside because you can, because the only person who's in charge of this business is you. There's no one going to be telling you that, okay, today you're accountable for this and that. I mean, you are in charge. This is your business. So we're here to guide you. We want you to be in business for yourself and not by yourself. And so let's see what else we're going to do. We're going to work on our samples. We're going to work on our why. We're going to work on our list. We're going to work with our mentor. And then Tech Splits webinar next week. Save the date for the 7th, probably about this time, midday or early morning. I'm going to say midday. Let's say midday if you're curious to do it live with me. Otherwise, the replay will just be posted in Team Evolution. I would love it if you guys, before then, if you want to post your whys in Team Evolution as you've been working on it this week. If you could post your whys, I think that would be amazing. It would be an amazing gift for yourself and moving forward in the business. But then also there's so many wonderful people in this group, on this team, that would be absolutely thrilled for you to have honed in on your why and will be completely supportive in you getting after it. So go for it, share it, post it on that page. We're going to talk through tech splitzing more, so I'm just going to graze over that because we'll also talk a little bit more about scripting and contacting people. So not just texting, but in person and perhaps on the phone or even via email, how you generate these contact conversations. So we'll go really nice and in depth with that. So let's see. Some other things you're going to want to do is this calendar that you have for February is going to be great, helpful for you to do all of these activities, but then you also want to look at your calendar in March. And I want you to schedule your time, your class times for March. Now, for the sake of ease, I think that it's absolutely amazing to pick the same time recurring once a week. So, you know, that it's just so easy when you're out there talking to someone organically and they're open to learning more about oils, or you've given them a sample and you're following up, and it's like, well, great, you know, I have a class in my home every Wednesday night at 7. Would it be okay to send you an invitation? You know, or, you know, I have a class every Friday afternoon, or, you know, whatever it might be. But it's really nice when it's easy and you don't have to think about, when is my next class? When can I tell them my classes are? You have to look it up, and then it just gets kind of like awkward. For the sake of ease, try to carve out this time, and you'll be so excited to start telling people about your classes that it's just going to make it really simple and easy. If you can't do it in your home, you guys, there's lots of public places that you can go. There's restaurants that would be great. There are public libraries have those little conference or study rooms, and you can utilize those for free. So lots of different things you can do. You can talk with your mentor about that if you're having any blocks here. The other thing that's great to talk with your mentor about is just the overall fear of getting started. There are a lot of things, a lot of blocks that come up for people in getting started. I'd say for me, and I know for a lot of you that I've worked with, it's first of all, like, it's just your identity. You know, you don't want to be known as that salesy person. You don't want to be known as the person who does that like multi-level marketing thing, who's like trying to sell you stuff all the time, and that's why they want to hang out. Like that, those are some of the big fears that you're going to come up against. Another one is, you know, the money that it takes. I have to commit 100 PV in product every month towards this thing, just so that I can earn the commissions. But honestly, I know resources are tight, but the harder you work at this, you guys, the quicker that is going to be a no-brainer. And what other business could you start with just 100 PV per $100 or $150 or whatever it might be at the end of it when it's all said and done per month? There are not many. And I'm also going to post a link to the hauling buckets versus pipeline video. I don't know if you've heard of this concept, but there's this concept that if you're just hauling buckets from the river every day for your daily water, that you know, it's exchanging time for what you're getting. And then there's the concept of building a pipeline from the river where it's constantly flowing. And so that's the beauty of doTERRA. And I did not even have, and I think that's probably why most people don't do this, because now that I know more and I can grasp the concept of this residual income opportunity, it's like, why does, I mean, it's just, I guess we just aren't able to wrap our heads around it initially sometimes. It's not the kind of world we were raised in. For whatever reason, it just feels like, well, sure, that would be nice, but that's not the way it works. That's not like the real world, that you have to work hard to reap these benefits. But if you truly do the why exercise, if you truly love the product, you guys, if you're ready to share your message and start a business with the world, then absolutely you are in the right place. I can guarantee you that. So take a look at some of the things that you're experiencing as fears. Talk through them with your mentor, journal about them, and we'll help you work through them. You're going to come up against all kinds of different fears, and things will continue to arise. And even if you feel great now, you know, in 6 months from now, you're going to need to lean on somebody because more stuff will come up. It's actually what really intrigued me about doTERRA is when I heard that, you know, it's not really an essential oil company, it's a personal development company. I was like, wait, really? Because I'm like a personal development junkie. So I was very intrigued by that. And it's definitely proven to be that. It takes you on this journey where you are having to face some of the fears, you're having to uncover a lot of false beliefs that hold you back. And it doesn't just hold you back in your business. You're going to find that it's been holding you back in all kinds of areas of your life. And so it's a brave thing to be in business for yourself, but it is the most rewarding thing, and such a gift if you can do it for yourself and for other people. So let's see. We're going to finalize those contacts. And then once you get the text blitzing webinar, you're going to want to review some of those contacting kind of scripts so that things can be really natural for you when you are having conversations, so that the relationships will always remain intact. You're just looking for people who this is for. The people who it's not for, no worries. And guess what? I guarantee you they'll probably be back. It's just maybe not the right time. So don't let those slow you down. You are going to hear some no's, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you definitely just want to respect it and preserve your relationships. And then you definitely also need to make sure you're educating yourself on the product, on the oils a little bit. So when you get your class in a box, review the handout, read it to yourself many times so that you get a good understanding of what each oil's use is, what there's a claims list on the claimed, I'm losing my words for it, but I'll post it for you guys. Basically, each oil has various different approved claims, and you want to familiarize yourself with those so that you're being compliant in sharing the magic of these oils, because we'd all like to say the miraculous things that they've done in our lives and share those stories, but you just have to be careful that you word them strategically and compliantly so that you're not misleading anyone and you're not destroying the company's reputation. But it's simple because it's all written down. You can just read it off the handout. And then set aside time for text blitzing in February. You're going to want to have at least 2 days where you have 3 time blocks of like 20 to 30 minutes in the day. So morning, mid-afternoon, and evening for when people are off of work. And you're going to look at your contacts and kind of know the people's lifestyle schedule, when is going to be the best time to try to touch base with them via text. And this is where you're going to be either talking to people about samples or inviting them to your class that's going to be in March, or just, seeking that openness with them. And then, let's see, class in a box, learning how to do the actual class will be the last half of February, and then just starting to get yourself ready to prepare and invite and get ready to teach your class. Now, ideally, if you have your upline local, ideally you'd like to have your upline teach your first class for you or with you. But logistically, it may not be possible for you. And if that's the case, just make sure you work with your mentor really well until you feel comfortable in doing your first class. Otherwise, there are class in a box videos that you can use if you don't feel comfortable. I've done that before, where I've used the various clips. They're on YouTube as well as provided in class in a box, where you can share those videos, but you want to make sure that that's not all that you're sharing. You need to give them a little bit of your story. You need to give them some experience. The other thing that I would say is I have people wondering about utilizing Facebook. So in this first month, in March, your classes need to be in person. So however many classes you can commit to in March, make them in person. And do not just use a Facebook invite for those people. You've got to do these things in order to get people to actually show up. It doesn't work on Facebook. I've tried it and it doesn't work. And it's been said over and over again in our organization that it's not the way that you're going to experience the best growth. I've had those classes where people didn't show up and you're like, what's going on? So I'm definitely going to teach you in the Class in a Box webinar how to effectively get in front of people to share this presentation. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today, I think. I'm just going to back up and make sure I didn't miss anything else. on our, and this is a good activity to do for your journaling as well, along with your why. And be sure that for February, before the 15th, that you have your LRP order set to 100 PV or higher, and to be shipped for February, March, and April. You want to make sure that it's at least 100 PV so that you can get paid commissions for those people who enroll at classes. Make sure you're a part of our Facebook Team Evolution so that you guys can share your journeys. That's what it's all there for. It's a community for support for builders, and a lot of the information about this program is going to be posted there. In February, we're just having the 2 webinars as far as mentoring calls from me, unless we do something one-on-one. And then in March and April, we're probably going to have more like 3 each month. Make sure you understand LRP. Yeah. And let me know if you need some advice on what to order next, because, you know, guys, the 100 PV is so minimal, like I said, for starting any business, but it's also what is absolutely necessary for you to experience enough of the what doTERRA offers, the what, behind your why. You've got to know, you've got to have enough experience with the what in order to share your why, right? So at this volume, at this pace, over a few months' time, you'll have a really good experience and lots of stories to share with people on your own personal experience and those of other people who are around you too. Okay, so that's the getting started. So you guys excited? Ready to create some amazing things in the next 2 months? I'm excited. Yeah, just consider again, you know, if you do nothing differently, will you be okay with that 5, 10, 25 years from now? I really, really believe that you all are capable of living in full expression of your passion, your purpose, your creativity. And this is really, really meaningful work. I know it seems like you're just in sales, but that's not what it is, really. It's part of it, but it's also the incredible value that comes with that. And you guys will experience more abundance than you've ever known. And I gotta tell you, when I look back, when I started this journey, guys, I did not expect myself to really be here necessarily. So it started with looking for some lavender for my sweet little boy there, who was just struggling. I just knew that he was not at ease during seasonal times of the year, and I was just not okay with all the different answers I was getting. And so I just kept asking questions. And that is another thing that I just firmly believe in. I continue today to allow my questions to be bigger than my answers. So, you know, if at any point in time I don't know something that you need to know, I will definitely find the answer. I am certainly not an expert, but I really believe in helping people. And I really want for you all what I've found for myself. I have, you know, when I started out with that little baby boy in his diaper at the beach, we were just young people with all kinds of struggles in our lives and in our bodies and our minds. And I think having kids definitely starts to awaken you, right? And so since then, I just continue to share my heart with people and have found a lot of deep peace in my physical being, and my mental and emotional being, my spiritual being. And I really have come to find that my purpose is to help other people tap into that. Because when we all live awakened lives, I mean, that's what the world needs, is for us to be awake, to be conscious, to be aware of our light and our darkness, and show up as the bright light. So let's evolve, people. Thanks, you guys. Yeah, you deserve it. You deserve to be vibrant, strong, empowered, and loved. So if you have any other questions, here's where you can reach me. And let me know if you're ready to jump on board. If you want to receive your $50 via PayPal, you just need to send me a message, comment on this video recording, and we'll get you signed up, okay? All right, we've already got a few people. And then, of course, if you do, when you do reach elite rank, which is the $3,000 overall volume that we're going to talk a little bit more about in the next coming webinars, the structure of understanding the way that business works a little bit. But when you do hit that, you also receive 100 PV in product as well from us, this team. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. The light in me honors the light in you. Have a beautiful rest of your day and look forward to seeing you next week for the text blitzing webinar.